Let's just talk about. We have FANUC robots here, and I'm gonna talk briefly about the teach pendant, like how to program a robot, what is the actually robot, what are we actually going to do with these robots, what sort of functionality we should learn about the programs. But initially, to know all these things, we should actually switch on the robot. So to switch on the robot is over there, and the controllers are right over here. So it's just the big box which has all the controllers, the power supply, and everything. Just don't fiddle around with any of the power supplies, because as long as this is your the buttons where you actually press on and power on the robot. So here, this is your emergency stop. If you haven't seen in industry, this is basically an emergency stop. Once you press this thing, that's it, it's stopped. I mean, no, you can just stop the machine anytime if there's any fatal thing or you want to stop the machine. Okay, if you want to release this thing back again, just turn it in the clockwise direction and this pops up. That's when you can actually reset your robot and start it again. So yeah, if you want to turn on this robot, just make sure there's nobody along the inside the machine, and then the cage is always locked. And once you're pretty much sure that everything is proper and nobody's there inside the workspace of the robot, you can just turn it on over here. Just press this thing. It just turns on. Once it's turning on, for each robot you have a teach pendant. This is basically known as a teach pendant. Yep. So this is how the HMI looks like. This is the user interface for you to actually communicate with the robot. So right before jumping into this, so I'm going to talk about this thing. So this is how you switch it on, which you already did. That's great. And then you have your cycle stall, your fall reset, user 1 and user 2. We just leave about user 1 and user 2. We're not going to use any of these things. Basically, these are for your customized settings when you want to operate the robot, how each operator wants to use the robot. And then you have your fault reset. This is basically any external fault you want to reset. So this is how you come over here and you press it. And this is cycle start and the fault. So right now this red indicates there's a fault. It shows it's also being displayed in your HMI. That's your pen. This is basically called as pendant. So I'm going to refer to it as pendant. Yep. So fine. And then you have 3 controls over here, which is auto, T1 and T2. So this is very critical. Just don't fiddle around with these things too, because when you put it in auto, so you're basically telling the robot that I'm not going to control anything with the teach pendant. It's going to be in auto, and whatever speeds you're running the program, it's going to execute the entire program at those particular speeds. Whereas T1 is basically, as it shows, it's less than 200 millimeters per second. That's basically your highest speed is 250 millimeters per second, and this T2 is the full capacity of the robot, right? So just keep this thing in T1. As long as you get familiar with the robot, you can just fiddle around with it and learn what each things will actually offer to you. Okay, and then quickly I'm going to show you what the teach pendant contains. So here is an off and on switch for the teach pendant. So basically, if it's an on, you can't do anything with this thing, right? You can't just basically nothing, no key works on the teach pendant. Every time you try to do this, it just shows some error, right? So and then you switch it on. So now it's activated. You can actually work on this teach pendant. Okay. Now here are the basic things. You have your menu. From menu, when you click on the menu, you have so many other options. I'm gonna only tell you what are the important things for us. So this is how when you click the menu, you're gonna go for this thing. Wherever you are, if you click the menu button and then press the utilities, you can either press 1. Whatever it's highlighted, you can either press the number or just press the enter if it's there. Now I'm pressing enter. You're gonna get the main screen. This is where the home page of it. And then yeah, you have all of the keys, which as long as we go along with it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And then okay, the first and the foremost thing is the key important things about the teach pendant. You have to learn about the teach pendant. This is your emergency switch again over here, because if in case you're not able to reach the emergency switch anywhere around, when you're holding the teach pendant, you can just click this thing and then it shows teach pendant stop, and your whole entire robot is going to stop for you. And then it also comes in handy because it's basically ensuring more safety for you. Okay, I'm just going to turn it back on. If you turn it back on, it's going to pop up. And then you have 2 of these. These are known as the dead man switches, and they come on the 3 different configurations. So basically this is full open, when you press it, it's half, and then when you completely press it, it's more, it just goes all the way in. So the how it works is you have to have your, you know, you have to hold the dead man switch right in between, not for the, it's not fully open, not fully closed. You have to operate in between those two. That's when you can actually operate the entire your teach pendant, and then you can interact with the robot. If not, if you're not able to do this, you know, your program, you can't operate your teach pendant. It's again for the safety. So once we are done with this, I'm holding the teach pendant. You can either hold one of them, it's either one of them, not both of them, it's up to you. So I prefer the left hand. I'm gonna hold it half of it. That's the grip for you. And then it's right now shows teach pendant e-stop. I opened it, but then it's all, you have to reset it. So every time if it stops, you have to first reset it. The whole idea of resetting is, once an error came, you have to go see there what's the error and correct it, and then again start it back on. Okay, so to reset any fault, the shift, you have to press the shift key and then reset. Okay, now everything is fine and you can actually operate the robot.